Did you know you don't have to have a shaped cookie cutter to make the cutest cookies ever? Hi, this is Leslie from Leslie's Cookies and Treats, and today we're going to make the most perfect little cookies you've ever seen. So grab your cookie decorating tools and decorate along with me. So I'm using a 15-second royal icing to go around the edges of my cookie. My cookie is a 3-inch square with scalloped borders, but you could use any shaped cookie for this. It could be an oval, a circle, it just doesn't matter. So outline your cookie and then flood it in with your 15-second royal icing. I'm not going to go all the way to the edge here. I'm going to use my scribe to get my icing all the way out to the edge so that I don't have to worry about it overflowing or about it changing the outline and making it so that you don't see those cute little scallops. And for those of you who like to skip this step or turn off the video as soon as I get to this part because it's boring, your scribe is your most essential cookie tool, and it's what's going to allow you to get those perfectly smooth cookie surfaces. So always, always, always be sure to scribe it. So I let my cookie dry completely, and you can't see it, but I use the paper piecing method and my scribe to scratch an outline of the cookie into the icing that's already there. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about regarding the paper piecing method, it's just a way to transfer the design onto your cookie if you don't have a projector. And I will leave a link to that video tutorial in the description so you can watch that if you don't have a projector. And I've been using my white royal icing in a 15-second consistency to outline the little pieces of this kitten. I cut a really tiny hole in my piping bag, and I'm just going around my scratch marks on the cookie, and I'm outlining everything about this kitten, and then I'll go back in and flood it in. To do the outline, I'm touching down and lifting up my piping bag just a little bit, and I lost control there for a second, so I set my line down and started over. But you just want to watch where your line of icing is falling, applying even pressure with your piping bag, and that's what helps you get those nice straight lines. Now that my cookie is outlined, I'm just going to go back in and I'm going to start with the face, and I'm going to flood in the center part, and then I'll use my scribe to shape it and get it smooth and pop any air bubbles. Air bubbles hide just under the surface of your icing, and it could cause a crater, so you want to make sure that you pop those. Then I'm going to immediately take my purple icing and fill in the little spots on this cat. By piping in the purple icing while the white icing is still wet is a wet on wet effect, and it will cause the two colors to blend together and for it to dry as one solid surface without a line separating the two colors. And I'm going to carefully use my scribe to settle that purple icing down without dragging it into the white icing. Then I let his head dry for about 10 or 15 minutes until the icing had crusted over, before coming back in with my white icing and continuing to flood in the body. And as always, I'm going to use my scribe to get that icing shaped the way I want it, to get it smooth, and to make sure I pop any air bubbles that might be lurking under the surface. And then just like we did with the face, I'm going to immediately grab my purple icing and fill in all of the spots, and then take my scribe once again and smooth out the purple icing, being careful not to drag it into the white icing. And at the risk of you all giving me a huge giant eye roll, make sure that you clean your scribe off in between every color so that you don't drag other colors into your icing. So I just piped in my ears with a 15-second royal icing in pink, and I'll use my scribe as always. And then I'm going to set this cookie back in front of a fan to dry for about another 10 to 15 minutes. And once that icing is crusted over, I'll come back in and pipe in the rest of my ears with my purple royal icing. I don't want my white outline to show, so I'm going to make sure that my purple icing is covering that. And I actually got some purple icing on his face where I don't want it to go, so I've taken a dampened paintbrush and I'm just brushing it away. And finally, my favorite part, adding the details. Let's give this kitten a cute little heart-shaped nose. Just pipe a ball and drag it down to a point, and then pipe another ball and drag it down to a point, and then give him two little oval eyes. And now I'm just taking my scribe here and adding just a tiny bit of white icing for highlights in his eyes. And this adorable little whimsical kitten is finished. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you'd hit that like and subscribe button. I have new cookie tutorials all the time, and I thank you so much for watching. Your support means everything to me. See you in the next one. Happy cooking!